Hello students, so we will start lecture number 7 of Principles of Management. So we have completed up to lecture number 6 so far. So now we will be starting with the lecture number 7. So there we have seen different principles of Taylor, right? F.W. Taylor. So we have gone through the time study, fatigue study and all. Now we will see another concept of Taylor, that is differential piece wage system. Differential piece wage system. So what is this, right? Lecture number 7. So now see, Taylor has advocated the differentiation between the efficient and inefficient workers. So basically what he has done, he has made a differentiation who is efficient worker and who is inefficient worker. So how he has done this? Just take one example. A factory head who is responsible for doing the different activities of the factory has fixed the standard output as 10 units per day. So what he has done, he has set the standard output as 10 units per day and the standard wage rate as 50 per unit. Okay, fine. If the standards are made, a person will get 50 per unit, and if a person cannot make with the standard output, he will get 40 per unit. So the factory head has set the standard like this. A person who will be able to meet the standard output of 10 units per day will get 10 into 50 rupees, and who cannot able to meet with the standard output, that is 10 units, he will get into 40. So if it is 1 to 9 units, then he will get 40 rupees each, right? Now, if the worker exceeds the standard output, he should be provided with a high rate, because a person who can able to make 11 or 12 units a day, if he gets 50 per unit, why he will make that exceeded quantity of product? Why he will make it? So what he has done, if a person is exceeding the standard output, then he will get 60 per unit. It may be greater than 10 units. For every greater than 10 units, he will be getting 60 rupees per unit. So now a person, there are 3 workers in the factory, worker A, B and C. What worker A has done, worker A has produced 13 units, B has produced 10 units, C has produced 8 units. Worker A received wages of how much? Then for 10 units he will be getting 50 rupees each, and extra 3 units he will be getting 60 rupees each, isn't it? As I have told. Here also for 10 units he will directly get 50 rupees, but 8, that is less than the standard. What he will get? 8 into 40. So you just see, this will come 680, this will come 500, and this will come 320. So you can see there is a huge difference between these three. Huge difference between these three. Why this huge difference is becoming, students? So that a person can make at least reach the standard level of output, as well as he can able to increase the production units. That's why. So it is known as differential piece wage system. Worker A was efficient enough, so he will be rewarded with higher wages. Whereas worker C should be penalized not by scolding that why worker C, you have not produced the standard output, this will not to run so far like this. You cannot scold him because he is not a child, he has grown up, that's why he is working in the factory. So you can give him less amount for his inefficient work. So this is known as the differential piece wage system. Now we have completed the part of the Taylor. We will move towards Fayol's principle of management. There are two gurus in the management, that is F.W. Taylor and Henry Fayol, that you have in your class 12 examination, right? We will move towards Fayol's principle of management. Who was Henry Fayol? So the name is Henry Fayol. He is a French mining engineer who has developed management theories for scientific organization of labor to control the production cost in an enterprise. So what he has done, he has developed management theories. Next, for what? For scientific organization of labor. For what purpose? To control production costs in an enterprise, right? So he was the first person to identify the function of management as, he was the first person who identified the functions of management as plan, organize, command, coordinate, and control. So basically the functions of management, now it is known as what? Planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling, right? So now, based on his on-the-job experiences, on the job, when a person will be in job, working in a job, is known as on the job. So then Fayol developed the concept of administration through 14 principles of management. So Henry Fayol has given 14 principles of management. Very, very important, students. This is very, very important. Now, his principles of management were published as a book, Administration Industrially at General, in 1917. Not much important. Now we will discuss directly at Fayol's 14 principles of management. So the first principle was division of work. What do you mean by division of work, students? You have to write it on your own. I will send out the notes and you have to make your own answer. Because until and unless you can able to make your own answer in English, it will be very difficult to crack the examination with good marks, with 90+ marks, isn't it? So now what Henry Fayol has done, he has made 14 principles. One principle is division of work. So here what the principle calls about, the intention of division of work is to produce more and better work, more and better work for the same effort. For the same effort, more and better work. How it can be done? So specialization is the most efficient way to use human effort. He has given emphasis on specialization. Suppose there are two students, A and B. A is specialized on football and B is specialized on doing study. So now a person who is specialized in football, he cannot score maximum marks in study, but who is specialized in study cannot give his best on football. That is the thing. You should be specialized on a particular activity, whatever may be, but you should be specialized in a particular activity at first. So that you can take the minimum time for completion with the same effort that all persons are doing the work to complete the work. So with same effort, when you are able to complete the work within minimum time, that is the main intention of this division of work. So for this purpose, what should be done? The work should be divided into small tasks. Each job should be performed by a trained specialist so that an efficient and effective output can be achieved. Then entire organization should be divided into separate departments that I have already told earlier. That for example, finance department, marketing department, production department, human resource department, etc. If the entire organization is being divided into various kinds of departments, so as we have told earlier also, that the various departments, the organization should be divided into different departments so that each and every department works efficiently and effectively, right? So just take the example in a particular school. In your school, how the work is been divided into various kinds of departments. Principal ma'am has taken the responsibility of the activities that to be done after the administration, for the administration purpose. That can be said as the controller, and that individuals in charges for different in charges are being fixed up, like academics, someone is HOD in charge, for discipline another in charge, admission purpose another in charges, co-curricular activities another in charges, like this way. So basically each and every organization is being divided into various parts. So students, this is basically lecture number 7 of principles of management. Then we will move towards lecture number 8 of principles of management, stating the next principle. So next lecture 8, right? Okay, all the best. Just go through the lecture number 7 first, then move towards lecture number 8.